Hey guys, Lizardlea here for day 57 of 4 Heavenly Beasts. So that is the progress from day 56. Got a lot of the pink and the reds. Making progress. Hopefully we're gonna make some more. Alrighty, I don't believe David will be joining today. He has a billion interviews to do, and it's already Friday. So I want to make sure that this renders and saves properly and then uploads and processes properly. And I don't want to be doing that tomorrow morning. I'd rather be doing it now. So here we go. I took a screenshot of where I last left off with the questions, and I believe, if I have it right, I could be wrong, but I'm on number 19, which is describe your dream office. And for me, that's being at home. Like, when COVID first started and I was working from home, I didn't like it and I missed being around people. And then like a month passed and I was like, oh my goodness, no, like this is perfection. I'm not having people walk up to me and bother me throughout the day. I'm not hearing other people's conversations or other people on the phone or music that I find distracting or don't like or anything. Like, I get it to be exactly how I need and want it to be. And I definitely believe that I get more work done working from home. And I think I make less mistakes. Like, I could be wrong, but I'm definitely doing more work now compared to when I was in an office. Yeah. Like, I think I was low-key kind of still holding on to working in retail. So, like I was constantly around other people. And then realizing that, like, yeah, no, being on my own, I feel like I can get more work done, and that leaves me feeling more fulfilled. Like, I am very much, I'm critical of myself, and I like to make sure I get my work done, and I feel like I do that better when the only thing that's bothering me is Slack. 20. If you could design your own work schedule, what would it look like? I'm trying to decide if I'd want... Okay, so I definitely would prefer a 4-day work week. I would much rather have 10-hour work days 4 times a week over 8-hour work days 5 times a week. I'm pretty sure that's the math. Anyways, but what I'm not sure on is if I'd want to take, either Monday or Friday. Either way, I would have a 3-day weekend off, or Wednesday, and have, like a little bit of a break in between. I'm not sure. I think it would kind of depend. Like, I'd want to find a day that, actually, I'm pretty sure John, or is it Lonnie? One of our friends frequently has Fridays off. So I was like, if I had Fridays off always, and DJ can get a Friday off sometimes, we could hang out. But, honestly, it says, design your own work schedule. And maybe I just switch it up each week. Like, oh, the first week of the month, I'll take a Monday off. The second week of the month, I'll take a Wednesday off. The third week of the month, I'll take a Friday off, and just like flip-flop it. I guess technically that could get me a 4-day weekend if I take off, a Monday, and then on the next week I take off. Oh no, I'm sorry, I did that backwards. One week I take off a Friday, and then the next week I take off Monday. But I don't think that would actually be good for me, to be honest. It always takes me a minute to get back into the work swing after a vacation, and I feel like 4 days is when it's starting to dip into that vacation time, or like vacation feeling. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm sorry. I just broke a nail. I'm just gonna file it off. Don't mind me. There we go. But yeah, I would absolutely prefer to do a 4-day week. And from the research I've seen on it, a lot of people actually flourish under that. Also, so I'm currently working 7 to 3:30. If I could do a 10-hour day, I think I'd rather do 6:30 to whatever time, rather than 7, because I am a morning person. I get up at 6, so I do want to have that buffer until 6:30 if possible. But I could absolutely start getting up at 5:45 in the morning to start working at 6 a.m. I've done it before whenever I need to. Like, I need to get to an appointment at 3:30, so I'm going to start 6 to 2:30 or, whatever. I've done it, so I could. 21. Do you prefer jobs that are always busy or ones that are typically slow? Oh, David's home.
Are you on the phone?
I'm doing narration. Are you on the phone?
I am. You should pause.
I should pause. I have to pause, you guys. I'm sorry. All right. So David is eating, but he is here now. Sexy, babe. Sexy. Truly sexy. So the question was, do you prefer jobs that are always busy or ones that are typically slow? And if I can only compare those two, one that is always busy or one that is typically slow, I'm going to go with the latter. Being always busy is stressful for me, and I'm supposed to avoid stress because I have MS. So I'm going with typically slow.
I would probably say always busy because I hate
dead time.
Yeah, well, it makes the day feel so much longer. Like I have to be here, but why am I here?
Especially like right now, we're in the middle of closing. My week is so busy that it's just like I get off work and I'm like, am I going to take a nap or am I going to finish the day? Like I'm just mentally and physically exhausted. So if every day were like that, I wouldn't be able to handle it. I probably could because I'm still me at the end of the day, but I should not handle it. How's that?
Yeah, I get you.
I am supposed to avoid stress, which, not easy.
You live with me.
Well, you don't stress me out.
Says the woman who will constantly mention her heart rate after I appear in one of the rooms.
That doesn't count as stress. That frightens me. You should stop that, but...
It's a kind of stress. Fear.
It's not the same. I don't think it counts.
You should remember you said that.
I mean, I'll say, you're stressing me out in the moment, but I'm talking about, consistent stress.
Yay.
Whatever. 22. Prefer to work alone or with a team? I prefer to work alone because I've been with teams before, and a lot of people just will not pull their own weight, and I hate it. It drives me nuts. I hate when I have... my group projects that I always think of are always back in school. And it's I'll go to the professor and be like, hey, this person, I have texted them, I've called them, I've emailed them, and they're not responding. They're not showing up to class. I literally cannot connect with them in order to move this project forward. Oh, well, in the workplace, that's something you just have to deal with. No, it absolutely is not. If my coworker were not doing anything, I would go to my boss and be like, hey, they're not pulling their weight. This is unacceptable. And they have to make a choice of keeping the dead weight or changing it. You should not be paying someone for not pulling their own weight.
Yeah.
And if I lose my job, that isn't a place I wanted to work at in the first place.
I think I prefer to work alone as well. If you make me pick between those two, but I think it depends a lot on where you are in the team and what kind of team it is.
Yeah, I will say I have worked on really good group projects before. One of my current coworkers, she and I together did the accounting manual that we have, and that was a good process. Like, I would write my stuff, she'd review it, tell me if it makes sense. She'd write her stuff, I'd review it and tell her if it made sense. And it was perfect.
Yeah.
Like, we each decided what, this is what I do, this is what I should write about, this is what you do, this is what you should write about. And it was perfect. But not every group project goes that smoothly.
Sure.
So, on average, I know I can trust myself to complete my work in a specific amount of time to a good standard, and I can't trust that the other teammates I have will be able to do that. So, I'd rather just get it done and be done with it, and not have to worry about it.
What's next?
23. What job would you never want to perform?
I mean, I think of lots of jobs I don't want. My old one, for starters.
God, tell me about it. I will never go back to Ross unless it is corporate level, because then I can stay away from the customers. But never want to perform. Honestly, the word perform was what did it for me. I don't want to be one of those circus people who hangs from the ceiling by their hair and does aerial tricks.
That is an awfully specific thing, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, perform just triggered that for me, and I don't want that job. I can't handle pain, so I'm good.
Do I have anything to add?
Something better.
I mean, there's lots of, gross or other things that I just personally couldn't tolerate. But I don't know. I don't think I could. Like, honestly, the biggest one is I don't want to teach elementary school ever again.
I don't want to teach anybody.
I wouldn't mind teaching.
I'm not a teacher.
High school and middle school, but elementary school, like, it's a nightmare for a lot of reasons, and especially for me and how I try to teach. I just do not want to.
I don't want to work in the food service industry. Like, I'm not a great cook. Maybe that would help, but I don't want that kind of pressure. I don't want to deal with it, and I've seen how mean and angry some customers are about their food. I don't want to deal with that. 24. What job would you love to try for one day? Ooh.
Astronaut.
Ooh, astronaut. Oh, goodness.
That's a fun answer.
I thought you never wanted to go to space.
As a child. Well, as a child I wanted to, and then I realized space is dangerous, and then I went, no.
Yeah.
I mean, one day.
That is all that it takes to kill you, but... Oh, man.
As long as I get some ZeroG.
Like, now that I've considered it more, I don't know if I'd actually go to space if I had the opportunity. But if I could, like, be an astronaut, like the kind that remains on Earth, they're practicing to go into space. So they get to go into that ZeroG room or whatever it is. I would absolutely love to do that.
ZeroG room?
I don't know what it's actually called, but like there's a room where it kind of simulates zero gravity. I don't think it's the exact same. I'm pretty sure they're like in a harness and stuff.
I was gonna say, like, there's no turning on and off gravity, so I'm not sure.
No, I know, but they have it feels like it, so that they can better prepare for it. I've seen a movie that just confused me.
Because, like, the two I know of for ZeroG testing are the Vomit Comet.
I've done that.
Yeah.
The spinny craziness.
No.
No?
It's a plane. Yeah, I don't think sorry, because I call it the short version. They take a plane, they get it way up high in the air, and then they dive and enter a state of free fall. So you're free falling in the plane. You've probably seen footage of cats and people and whatnot whenever. You have no idea of this?
I mean, it sounds familiar, not specifically for astronauts, but
yeah, it's part
of where it feels like kind of like a roller coaster.
Alex's
like your tummy just goes whoop.
Oh, except you're actually floating in the air, because it is functionally the same as ZeroG.
Yeah.
Because that's what ZeroG is. You're always in G. It's just a question of doesn't matter.
Yeah,
no one
I
cares.
get you.
And then the other one is pools. They put you in, and I actually did that one at Space
Maybe
Camp.
it was a pool, and they just had a good camera that I couldn't tell they were in the water. I'm not sure.
I mean, they were probably in scuba gear then.
I don't know.
I'm just mentioning it, but yeah, no.
Years ago.
You'll see them in pools and whatnot. Well, no, they'll sometimes. I think they can put an astronaut suit in a pool because obviously it's airtight. I'm trying to remember if it's like modified ones or if there's some part of it that could be damaged by the water. But whatever. Point is, yeah, it's again a similar. When I was at space camp, they did a little exercise where we all had to work as a team to construct they had these kind of big pipey what are they called? Not Lincoln Logs, Tinker Toy style things, and we had to communicate to build this. Except you can't talk underwater.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot of like, okay, can you work successfully underwater? And we were pretty good at it because it was simple, like point here, do this, do that, simple stuff. So yeah, it was quite fun.
I also went to a space camp. So I went on the machine.
Nerd. No.
Yeah, you went too. We're
I
both
know, that
nerds.
was the joke.
I freaking loved it. So it was a big contraption, like a big circle. I don't know how else to describe it. And it has a bunch of metal rings around it. You sit down, and it just spins you all around.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what the thing is called.
Like
I thought that was the Vomit Comet because people talked about, some people will get sick on this ride.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of little, and a lot of these rides are like, that ride I've seen at like fairs and things like that as well. I think they even have a setup in the Adventure Dome here. But yeah,
Not that I've seen, but what do I know?
I swear to God, it's like 3 concentric circles, and then you're inside and you're like this, right? Holding on, and it moves you in various ways. Is that right?
We were sitting.
Yeah, maybe it is different. I'm thinking of the wrong thing. I don't know.
I mean, it just it spins you all over.
Yeah.
Like it feels completely random. Maybe it has a predetermined thing, but all I could do was, oh my God!
Because it can spin you on all 3 axes. That's the idea. Yeah.
It was so cool. We also did the bungee jump kind of thing. It's not bungee jump. That's not the right word, but you're standing and you can jump, and it's to simulate how gravity is on the moon. So you go a lot further in your jump, and you remain in the air longer.
Yeah,
it's so cool. I loved space camp.
I had fun as well. We made little soda bottle rockets, 2-liter bottles.
Oh, cool.
And you put fins and a nose on it and had to try and see if you could get yours to go super high. Yeah, mine went quite high. It was not the highest, but it did better than the average, I think. Nice. Which is weird because I had one heck of a nose on it, which I felt like should have added more weight. And it really didn't. But I guess it was aerodynamically not being as pushed back. Yeah, you probably need enough weight that whatever. No one
Okay,
cares.
nerd.
No, there you go. You can tell that nerd.
25. What is the most out of your element you have ever felt at work?
Well, when I taught elementary school that one time, I guess I'll tell the story then, because as a substitute, you don't actually have much control over the classroom, and obviously a lot of kids know that and take advantage of it, and that's where we get all the fun, tropes about, kids being terrible at substitute teachers. And there's a lot of ways to get over that, and I've always kind of, let kids do what they want up to a point, but at the same time, if you cross the line, I will absolutely, send you to the dean or whatever, and do a lot of psychological stuff. If I see a kid doing something they're not supposed to do, like cheating on a test, I'll stand over their shoulder and watch them cheat for 15 seconds and let everyone else start laughing at them, and then let them turn around and freak out, noticing I'm there, and then usually they're good for the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. So I did that in an elementary school classroom, and the kid turned around, waved at me, and went back to cheating, and I realized I did not have the right skill set for this.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was 2nd grade or something.
I would never have been able to do that.
Yeah.
I definitely cheated, not gonna lie, but I was never caught. So.
Was I? I don't know. Whatever.
I mean, if I was, I still got a good grade. So, the one time I got, a 0 on something and was told it was because I was cheating, I was really, really upset about it. It was in my chemistry class, and I remember exactly who it was. She was one of the people at my table, so there were 4 of us, and she was like, "Oh, hey, you know what? Can I compare your homework to mine? I want to make sure I did it right." And she was in honors classes with me, so I trusted that she was not trying to cheat. Y'all, she cheated. She did exactly what I had. Like, she moved the points on a grid slightly by, like, maybe decimals. And the teacher was like, yeah, no, you guys cheated. And I was like, what the heck? Like, why would you do that? Like, I was good at certain parts of chemistry and not good at other parts. But I think if I had a better teacher, I would have been good at it all. There were times when I would ask her a question, and she would explain it the exact same way she just did. And I was like, oh, okay. And she'd be like, do you get it now? And I'm like, yeah? Because it's like, you didn't explain it any differently. Why do you think I'm going to understand it now? If I continue to tell you I don't understand, you're just going to get frustrated, and I'm just going to get embarrassed and humiliated, and I'm not interested in that. But then she'd be like, okay, explain it to me now. And I'd be like, I can't. Well, then why'd you say you get it? You explained it to me the same way. Like, I was not a fan of her. A lot of other people liked her, but I didn't. And, yeah. Okay, but the question was out of your element.
There's still a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, no, you talked about cheating, so I bounced off of that. When was I the most out of my element at work? The first time I had to fire someone. Mark and I pulled her into the office, and I was just like, I've never done this before. Like, I've never been fired. I've never been written up. Like, I don't know how this goes so that I do not get in trouble. And so Mark actually did the majority of it. But I had to pipe in with like, yeah, girl, like, the day you did not show up yesterday for work and you didn't call us, the district manager showed up. You weren't fired by us. You were fired by her.
Yeah.
Because she asked, like, oh, hey, where's your framer? And we were like, don't know. She hasn't called us, and she's not here. And she was just like, huh. And this has happened before? And we were like, yep. So she was like, I see. She's done. And we were like, okay.
Yup.
And she tried to give us all these sob stories to have us keep her. And we're like, dude, you screwed us over during a district visit. That's not how this works. Like, if it had been her first no-call, no-show, we might have been able to try something. But it was like her second or third. So honestly, I think even without the district manager, she would have been fired anyways. Because at 3 no-call, no-shows, you're considered, like, you've quit.
Yeah.
Whether they're in a row or not. So, and, like, I liked her. She was personable. She was funny. But it was kind of just like, yeah, you screwed us over. Even if the district manager hadn't showed up. You didn't tell us you weren't going to be there. Like, 26. What is the nicest thing a teammate has ever done for you? Trying to think.
I can't think of any, like, great gestures or whatnot, but I also don't like that sort of stuff, so, like, I mean, in some ways, like, my career is owed to the fact that someone gave me access to certain things and did stuff like that, but that's not super interesting. So it's probably that, arguably, that they just gave me the chance to, like, try these things and work on them and, build something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that, but I know that's not, like, the spirit of what the question's going for.
And I know my current boss has given me, like, a Christmas ornament that she, it was wood burnt. And it was really cool. That's literally the only thing I can think of right now. Yeah. I know it's not the only thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's the only thing I'm thinking of. So I guess that's what I've got. 27. Where would you most like to travel for work?
Japan.
South America or Antarctica? Just so I can knock off another continent.
We've got accounting to do in Antarctica.
I mean, we're apparently going to Alaska for our next company retreat, so
True.
I don't know what Alaska has to do with what we do.
Well, it's a company retreat, so...
True. I mean, that's the thing, exactly. It's a company retreat. It doesn't actually have to be important to the work that I do. It's the retreat.
Fair enough.
And that it says for work.
Yes.
Like, I don't think accounting ever will need to travel. Or at least the accounting that I do won't.
Yeah.
28. Describe your dream day at work.
Not working.
Yeah, I was gonna say like calling in sick.
I mean, to be
and
fair,
then just
like
cross stitching.
I already do get days that are like dream days at work because like there are days where I just get to go in and pretty much work on whatever code I want. You know, it's why I like working the holidays. Like it's a downside to my job that I have to work the holidays, but most people take those days as PTO and I don't. And so the office isn't full, no one's bugging me. I can just turn on my music or watch some videos or whatever while I work and just kind of get things done, be productive, maybe test some things that I wanted to do that like I just, you know, I'm gonna need like a solid hour or two minimum to like focus on this to really get me progress. So, you know, and yeah, that's kind of my dream day, is just that kind of stuff, barring the like, yeah, not going in.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do work from home, so most days are dream work days for me, but absolute dream day would be like I'm the only one. Well, no, not the only one, but like no one slacks me, no one emails me. I just get to work my 8 hours working on projects with no interruptions.
Yep.
That would be amazing. I would get so much done. 29. What are 3 tools you could not do your job without? My laptop, my first screen, and my second screen. No, okay. Excel / Google Sheets, whatever. A PDF reader, and the accounting software.
I mean, an integrated development environment or IDE, because I have grown weak and spongy and need IntelliSense, which I've always needed. That's actually why I picked up coding, was I realized that the ways I've been taught are not the ways things actually are. There were people who, back in the day, could code without that stuff, and I'm not one of them. I would not be coding if those things didn't exist to help save some time. So that, and then like, I don't know, I could be like computer, internet, you know, because that's essential to my job.
Yeah, the first thing I said was my laptop.
Yeah,
so.
I like, unfortunately in my case, it's a little bit harder to even branch out into other stuff, because once I have an IDE, that is the majority of my job. Everything, I guess Git, I can, but the thing is I can work without Git. It just sucks. So yeah, I'll say Git. Yeah, Git is software management. Well, code management. Actually, it's technically, no one cares. It's code management.
Nerd.
Technically, it's. So yeah, Git makes things a lot easier. You know, really easy to track what you're doing and undo things and try things out and keep your stuff managed properly. And it does so much more these days as well that I barely touch that stuff too. Git, IDE, and I don't know, anything on the management side I can pretty much manage just by whatever. I don't think there's any like explicit I don't know. I guess no, because I could get around that. I don't even know what the third would be that wouldn't just sound like internet, you know.
Yeah, the obvious ones.
Yeah. So there's my 2.
Okay. 30. What is your dream project? One that I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm excited to work on it, and I can meet my deadline.
I have more specific things in mind, but I'm also like,
well, go for it.
Well, I can't talk about those.
Oh.
You know, like, there are specific projects I would love to do at my job. Like certain things I would love to, like, yes, we're actually doing this finally.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can't really go into details on that. So yeah, your idea is way better. But I mean, for me, it's just like I really like experimenting and implementing with new stuff, like modernizing things. I always like automation. I have spent most of my life trying to automate myself out of a job, or at least most of my professional career. And while that can sound very
stupid,
touchy in the current setup, like I've never found a job where I could do that. You know, there's always more to do. There's always something new. And then I don't know, just those are the kind of things, and like I get to be involved in projects already, so it's not like, oh well, I need to be in control or something. Like I have my own projects that I run, so that I'm used to at this point. Yeah, that's kind of all I got.
Okay. 31. Who is your dream client? One that gives me their receipts, no arguments, tells me exactly what it's for, how to book it.
Technically, that's
how
a
to charge
coworker, but you don't have clients, and neither do I.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I won't ever have to work that way, I think.
Yeah, so in my case, it's kind of similar where I'd say
treating them like a
vendors
client.
are the closest I have to clients, vendors and consultants.
They give me their paperwork immediately when I ask for it then.
I'm not even going to ask for like the pipe dream stuff, just good communication. Like I don't even
keep responding to me.
Like I've got a lot of stuff that I could throw on there. Like, gee, it'd be nice if they actually knew what they were talking about sometimes, or if they actually were trying to fix my problem. But just like the number of people who just can't even communicate who are in those kinds of environments is disgustingly high, and it makes it really frustrating because I have to play stupid political games back because you don't communicate.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm running it up the chain and I'm documenting everything you say because you won't do what I need, or you won't tell me why you won't do what I need, or you won't tell me or you won't tell me that you think that I'm doing it wrong. And like, to me, the point of a good consultant is to be like, okay, we can do that, but don't think we should.
I think this would be a better option.
Now, granted, I got to be fair. I've been on the other side of that conversation, and you get a little bit tired of being told, "No, you're wrong. We're doing it this way." So I get it at some point, but I do try to make clear that I really value communication. I want to know what's going on. I don't want to just walk off a cliff. So
Yeah, great communicator. Definitely cannot disagree with that. And that is the end of 4 Heavenly Beasts, day 57. I got 4 hours and 46 minutes of footage. More red. I want to continue, but it is overcast out, like so bad. It's so dark, and my neck hurts. So it's just, I could handle one of the things, but not both. When it's this dark, it's just there's not much left though. Like, there's only, I think, 2 or 3 more reds, and then it's mostly just the super, super dark colors, which I can hopefully finish in a day. So, maybe 2 more days? Maybe 3? 2 if I'm lucky, I guess, huh? I have nothing else to add, so like, subscribe, share, comment, all that jazz, and we'll see you guys next video.